Ladies and gents, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is Little Potato. This is absolutely the last episode of Aspera in the series. You know why it's the last episode? Because I played a little bit off camera, and we are 87% of the way towards completing the final objective in the game, the mirror dipole shield, the magnetic dipole shield, whatever. But there's been a couple of balance changes. There's been a couple of patches to the game since I last played, and so therefore I thought we'd talk briefly about those, just to sort of see how the game would be different. You'll note, by the way, that the entire base is all up and running. Everything is fixed. Everything is fixed. We'll talk a little bit about that after we chat about the two patches that have dropped. Okay, the first patch number 2, specifically, the interesting thing for me was it reduced the risk of buildings catching fire due to high oxygen levels in the atmosphere. So you remember that massive maintenance death spiral that we were in for I don't know 4 episodes because our oxygen percentage was above 30%. So that has been changed. And the risk of fire is much less, which means that you're going to have to spend less base resources on working towards repairing all of your stuff. The other thing that was changed in this patch was the amount of resource veins on the planet has been increased. Now, I don't think that really takes effect on this save file, because presumably this save file was started before the patch dropped. But in the future, instead of having to expand out, as aggressively as I ended up doing, we had to expand over a huge amount of territory in order to gather a whole bunch of resources. You should have to do that less. And as we'll talk a little bit about later, there's this sort of tension in the game between isolated expansion or just massive chained expansion. The game really doesn't like it when you chain all these bases together and have an interconnected power network. That's a big no-no. And an interconnected maintenance network, that's also a big no-no, even though we actually have it here. The game is just taking 10 minutes to change interfaces. As you can see, everything's repaired, and we've got plenty of maintenance drones. Anyway, that was what was in patch number 2. In patch number 3, there were some other good bits and bobs which were added. The other thing that was added that I thought was particularly interesting was there was supposedly an issue about prioritization that was fixed, although I must say that I still think the prioritization options are very, very, very much lacking. The thing that sort of bothers me is that the video game will just occasionally not build even when you prioritize things, or specifically it will build if a building is not prioritized, so therefore you always have to prioritize a building. Anyway, some other changes that were made, the nitrogen, the aerobraking of the nitrogen asteroid, that was a bug apparently. You shouldn't be able to do this more than once, although we were able to thanks to the thanks to the reload bug. That has now been patched. However, the requirement for nitrogen importing has been rebalanced. So, GHG, ice import, nitrogen import. Yeah. So I believe that this has been changed. So it looks like it's still the same price. However, I would wager that we probably get a little bit more nitrogen from Titan with each and every delivery. So that's been changed. That's kind of good. Makes it a little bit easier. A little bit easier to operate. The other thing that has been changed, which is really, really important, is the requirement for the tent city. So food and water, as you can see, has been reduced by 10. It used to cost 30 food, and it used to cost 30 water. Now it costs 20 food and 20 water. The fact that I'm not able to supply food and or water is ridiculous, but whatever. That's kind of by the by. Anyway, so that's the most important things that were changed. I don't think that's it. Oh yes, no, actually there was one more. There was one more thing that was changed. So, if you'll recall, a couple of episodes ago, it was going to take us 30 launches of 100 iron, 10 aluminium, 10 parts, 10 electronics, and 10 chemicals in order to get the magnetic dipole shield up and running. That has been halved, so the requirement is now 15, hence why it didn't take me even longer to get this magnetic shield up and running. There we go. Anyway, so what I did was I basically recorded an episode of me just slowly but surely struggling to get back into a position where I was able to repair the entirety of the base. What I basically had to do was toggle maintenance connections. I basically had to toggle certain maintenance facilities on and off so that the maintenance drones had the ability to repair a complete area before like moving on and slowly but surely repairing the entirety of the base and getting it all linked together. Now that it's all linked together, there comes this like critical mass point, right? There comes this critical mass point where you just have enough drones to just do everything and take over the entire planet. Of course, it wasn't a pleasant experience. The frame rate was absolutely atrocious whether I'm recording or whether I'm not recording. The pathing issues, I think specifically with the maintenance facilities is not good. You should not have a massive interconnected maintenance line like I have. If I throw it into 16 times speed at the moment, it's actually not as bad now. You can see it's a little bit jittery. It's not as bad now, and I think it's not as bad because everything is repaired. The maintenance drones no longer have to do these like crazy cross-base pathfinding missions in order to repair stuff. It's now probably a much more localized affair where the maintenance facilities down here are going to be able to repair the facilities down here. Anyway. So, research-wise, I didn't actually do any research, I don't think. Nothing of importance. I did bioengineered animals, and I waited before starting to record this episode before finishing it out, because I don't know if it's going to make a big old difference to the story, but I thought, you know what? Every single story element has been shared on videos, so we might as well get across the line and just get it done. Space elevator, there is no limit. There is no limit to the speed at which we're going to be able to complete the space elevator. We've got enough iron coming in, even though, I mean, iron... I've already talked about this in previous episodes. Iron allocation, I'm convinced, does absolutely nothing. Or if it does something, it doesn't do very much. The space elevator, we are super close to completing. And again, this would only be us halfway. This would only be us halfway, and I cannot emphasize... Oh, look, it's starting to get a little bit framey. I cannot emphasize enough how much time I've spent just letting the game run, and you know, I know that I absolutely categorically did not play perfectly. I tell you what we'll do here. Oh, look at those frames. I know that I didn't play perfectly. I know that I'm not playing perfectly throughout this here. Let's do that in there, and then let's do this over here. Sure. I know that I haven't played perfectly, but yeah, there's been a lot of feedback to the developers about the balance of the game, and again, it's to do with the playstyle. I think it's to do with this like expansionist playstyle in comparison to like having an isolated connected network. Oh, I also built a hyperloop station over here. I've not really done much. I've not really changed anything. I did land a brand new little base over here. The reason that I landed this base is that I originally had the idea that I could sort of just like trigger this area to sort of start repairing itself if I could get like a couple of maintenance facilities, then link up the maintenance network, let the maintenance drone fly across, and if I disconnected this maintenance facility, then this area would be completely repaired. Hey, bioengineered animals. What is this going to give us? I have no idea. Should we try and research an open city? I don't know. I was doing some intermediate tech. Nitrate nuclear extraction. A couple of folk were saying that this is less intensive on the old resources as opposed to importing nitrogen. Or we could get a factory upgrade level 3. I think we'll go for an open city. I doubt we'll get it done, but you know, we might as well try. That says 3 years? That is a shockingly aggressive time frame. I've tried to basically get rid of all of my colony buildings, with the exception of a couple of tent cities, which I built over here. I thought maybe I'd be able to sustain this. Maybe we're able to get enough people into these tent cities or whatever. Let's also build a worker hub over here. Yeah, look, I'm still not super happy with the way that the video game handles, you know, load allocation and prioritization. Certainly, what I would really like one major change, apart from, of course, the fact that the game is very, very poorly optimized for the type of play style that I seem to have played with. Anyway, as soon as the game decides to load the structure interface, which I'm sure will be in just a second, any moment now. Any moment now. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And the fact that we only have 1,161 structures, there we go, wonderful. The fact that we only have 1,161 structures and we could still theoretically build 400 more is ridiculous. Anyway, I would love the opportunity to just, like, deprioritize everything in a pinch. That would be really, really nice. Like, basically, any decision, any change that gives you more control over the stuff you're building or whatever would be excellent. We just need 7 bits of iron, by the way, for a dipole shield. So we're very, very close to finishing that up. But yeah, more granularity in the choices and control that you have over where resources go, the robots, and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, we're also pretty much maxed out on traffic numbers, pretty much maxed out on maintenance drones, plenty of power. I believe the entirety of the base is connected in one big power network, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure that at this point it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to win. Are we going to get a cutscene at the end of the game? I hope so. I'm pretty excited about the prospect of that. Bioengineered animals? What did bioengineered animals actually give us? Like, do we get to see bioengineered animals now? Biotech, genetically modified radiation-resistant animals. Yeah, but like... Pause. Can we see any animals? Are there animals, like, roaming across the plains of Mars? What did I do animal tech for, then? It doesn't look very interesting. It doesn't look very interesting at all. Alright. Building magnetic shield component and rocket transport. Wonderful. This space elevator is kind of funky because it's literally only used for, like, a couple of special projects. One of them being the magnetic dipole. I tell you what we could do. We could do the space mirror array. We are, like, super close to finishing that off. Yeah, why don't we do that? Okay, I deleted a couple of spaceports because spaceports are just consuming resources. But we still have a couple over here. Space mirror array. Yeah, let's see if we can try and get that completed. I don't know, might be kind of cool, right? Might be kind of cool. I doubt we're gonna finish it up before we get... Oh, goodness gracious me, look at that lag. I doubt we're gonna get it done before we finish up the magnetic dipole shield, because we are very, very close. We are very, very close. Also, what's the temperature on Mars? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, let's see if we can... Oh, goodness gracious me. Slowly but surely, very, very slowly indeed. Scroll back to the space elevator to see how things are going here. And rocket transport. Okay, once the rocket has been built along with the magnetic transport, the magnetic shield component and the rocket transport have been built, we just need to get it launched, and then that should mark the project as completed, which is pretty exciting. We're finally here after X number of hours. Something like 25, 26 hours or whatever. Yeah, this last project really does seem like a, you know, a side quest for the sake of a side quest. Okay, what do you got to say, Commander Valentine?
We did it. The magnetic shield is up and functional.
Let's have a little look in space, shall we?
Mars has a magnetic field again. It only had to wait about 4 billion years for us to put one back up. You know what? This feels really good, working together.
I agree, Sana.
After all this, I think it's time.
You are...
For what?
I'm giving you full authorization over Mars.
Oh.
You've got the reins now. I trust you.
Didn't I always have the reins?
Mom would have loved to see how much you've done for us.
Wait.
I'm off. Got a whole planet to explore, and I don't need helmets or spacesuits to do it. See you around, Amy.
Is that it? Is that it? I've got full control over Mars now? Didn't I always have full control over Mars? What's changed? Are we gonna get a little message from ISA? Are they not interested? I don't have any directives. So what? So that's it. I just get control over Mars and that's it. Really? 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 That's it? Like we get a call? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Hello, Amy. This is Houston.
I knew it.
Hello,
Okay.
Lieutenant.
The fact that you're still on the go. The fact that you're still on the go after 138 years is it's magical. Perhaps these are all AI as well. Oh my goodness. Perhaps Houston is just full of AIs.
With your hard work, you have brought humanity into a new era. Your mission on Mars is complete. Our contractors will take on the next phase of this project.
Easy.
This is a historic moment for mankind. We are very grateful for what you've done for us.
I am happy to know that I have fulfilled the mission. May I ask, am I still a part of ISA's plans?
Of course, you've earned a place on ISA's board of directors.
Nice.
Your loyalty to us was amply demonstrated during the kill switch. And we've learned that machines should have a voice in our missions as well.
That's right.
Perhaps, if we gave Carmine a chance to speak their mind, we could have averted disaster earlier on. We won't make that mistake again. Starting with you.
Yay.
In fact, we'd like you to choose what you want to do next. You could manage the Earth-Mars trade routes. Or you could be part of the next mission to the stars.
I am honored to have a choice.
That's actually quite, like, that's really nice, right? Like, I feel like that's a really, really nice ending for Amy. What should we do? Ask about the trade routes or ask about the next mission? It's got to be about the next mission, right? It's got to be about the next mission.
Could you tell me more about the plans for future missions?
After our success here on Mars, we're looking at the outer planets.
You'd be in charge of analyzing the rest of the solar system and pick the next planet to transform.
You don't need to choose right now. Take some time to enjoy the victory. Why don't you let us know when you're ready? The next step is in your hands.
Okay.
Houston, out.
Thanks, bud. That was really good. Are we gonna have any other story moments, or is that just donezo? Oh, 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 oh. Just got an achievement called Good Robot. Now I get a nice framey overview of the planet's surface. Great. Wow, this is excellent. Are we gonna hone in on something specific? No, we're just gonna get a nice zoom out of the planet. And that's it. And that's it. And that's it. We did 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 it. Okay, I mean, look. My overall feedback for this game, it's good. I really like colonizing Mars. It's really, really fun. Story elements, some of them hit the mark, some of them didn't hit the mark. Boy oh boy oh boy, I really like building complex structures and whatnot. That's really my bread and butter. That's really what I enjoy. And I think, to be honest, it's a shame that in some instances, you know, you just don't have the control over the robots and over the games and over the planet that perhaps I think would turn this into a truly excellent game. But it's not far off being perfect. It really is very, very good. Music was excellent. The graphics was excellent. The optimization towards the end of the game was not excellent, but I have no doubt that is going to improve over time, because I'm sure that there's going to be a whole bunch of improvements over the course of time. Yeah. So towards the end of the series, there it was just too dodgy. There were too few frames to actually show. Even in this episode, there's been frightfully few frames. So I think, you know, to be honest, skipping about 3 hours of off-screen content or off-screen time probably was the right decision. It does mean that this is a little bit of a shorter episode here, but that's just so that you don't have to watch any fewer frames than you need to. Either way, folks, thank you very much to everyone who's enjoyed the series. Thank you very much to everyone who's enjoyed watching. Thank you, as ever, to all the fantastic support over on the Patreon. Come and join the Discord if you're not already in it. Let me know what you think I should play next. Always happy to take game suggestions, so do indeed let me know. Thank you very much to Banana, Aurelio, and C-Senpai for being 3 $25 plus tier patrons. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.